Wedding season is almost here. We've got Larry Williams, president of the Northern Nevada Bridal Association and owner of the Reno Tahoe DJ company here. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me, Denise. Appreciate it.
You've got some ceremony tips.
Yes, I do. We've all been to wedding ceremonies where the flower girl and ring bearer are walking down the aisle. They precede the bride and whoever's giving her away. Oftentimes, though, the flower girl and ring bearer are quite young, and you might see them sometimes get a little bit nervous or maybe cry or maybe stop and not walk altogether. I have a tip that solves it every single time, and that is this. During the rehearsal dinner, okay, the flower girl and ring bearer, their parents and grandparents and other people will be there. That center row has different, the center aisle has different rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the tip. You put familiar faces, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, grandparents, in the chairs that are right adjacent to the aisle. So when they walk down the aisle, they see familiar faces because they're not going to look 2, 3, 4 seats deep. They're going to see those familiar faces, and they're going to be more apt to walk down the aisle and be comfortable. And in the event that for some reason they still get a little bit nervous, it's very easy for a cousin or family relative to simply reach out, take them by the hand, and help escort them further down the aisle.
That's a great tip because I think some people, maybe they haven't been to a lot of weddings and they're planning their own. Right. So they may not even think about a flower girl getting nervous.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Wow, that is great. Larry, we love having you here, and we always like to end our segments with you with a fun factoid. So, I've got a question. Why is it when there's a ceremony, why are bridesmaids always on a certain side and groomsmen always on a certain side?
From the officiant standpoint, the bride and the bridesmaids are on the right, groom and groomsmen are on the left. People ask why, and of course some people say because the bride's always right. Well, that may or may not be true, but there's actually, this goes back centuries to medieval times to a thing called marriage by capture. And what would happen, there'd be a lot of arranged marriages back in the day, and for whatever reason, at the last minute, people in the community or family, they would whisk the bride away. They'd kidnap her. They'd take her away. So the idea behind the groom and the groomsmen are there to protect the bride. And what happened in medieval times is the groomsmen, for the most part, the gentlemen, were mostly right-handed. And they're on the left-hand side because their swords would be on the left belt cup. And they would grab their swords from the left, they'd hold those swords up, and they would protect the bride from being whisked away at the last moment.
Oh my gosh, who would have known?
Yeah.
And now we all do.
Marriage by capture.
Thanks so much for coming in, Larry.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.